everybody, and welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to be discussing some of the greatest figures in Wings of Fire, the Queens. Well, there have been a ton of pretty horrible ones throughout the history of Pyra and Pantala, and we've even done 2 videos ranking the absolute worst. Some of the best queens really do need to be acknowledged. So, to pay tribute to some of the best women in Wings of Fire, here are the top 5 best queens. These aren't necessarily ranked regarding personality, scenes, traits, or even my favorites, but rather just how these dragons led their tribes. Before getting into the video though, a huge shout out to my patrons. Get your Roblox Man, Draglover95, and 3 Moons. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. This also does contain spoilers for The Dangerous Gift and the books that came before it, so please keep that in mind. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Though she was only briefly in power, Hazel takes the number 5 spot for me, albeit with some bias because she's my favorite Leafwing. Hazel absolutely deserves more appreciation. She stood up when her tribe needed her the most, and I can honestly respect it. She's just such a genuine dragon in the way she talks and acts, feeling so much more real than a lot of the other royalty figures we get to see. I can't imagine how stressful it was to take over for Sequoia during that brief time, but Hazel did not disappoint her subjects, or the readers. She's smart, a true leader, observant, and even a little bit witty at times. Hazel is just so hopeful and she used her position of power to try and bring out the best in the remaining Leafwings. She never lost hope and always continued trying. That resilience is something that's hard to find sometimes, but Hazel really did a fantastic job. Even though she did even admit to being quite inexperienced due to the circumstances, she was willing to also admit that she had a lot to learn, and that coming to other dragons for help is okay. She kept the spirits and hope high, never wanting to give up. Number 4 on this list has to go to Glory. I mean, the amount of respect I have for this young queen is unreal. Glory is such a strong dragon who always pushes through, and while I can't say she's one of my favorite characters, I can really appreciate how great of a leader she is. She's merciful, stern when she needs to be, willing to stand up for what's right and call out what's wrong, and is starting to understand that she doesn't need to do everything alone. Glory just has some fantastic traits for an excellent leader, and the way she has ruled over 2 tribes so young will never stop amazing me. She deserves some credit. Glory treats others with respect and is actually incredibly fair and just. According to Moonwatcher, Glory wants to earn the loyalty of the Nightwings, and she would never want to have that artificially. That's something great to know about the character. For the most part, she's a really deserving and incredible queen, and while she still has stuff she needs to learn, that's okay. She's so young but has taken on this mantle and done her job super well. Coming in at number 3 is Queen Ruby of the Skywings. Ruby absolutely deserves a ton of credit for how much she has handled ruling her tribe. She's just a natural-born leader, and there's no other way to put it. Ruby has made a ton of right decisions from the moment she had power in her kingdom. While her predecessor, Scarlet, wasted her wealth in order to show off to others and have it for personal use, Ruby actually took full advantage of the riches her tribe had, creating a hospital in the kingdom using the most of the gold in the throne room. Not only is Ruby very resourceful, but she's also an advocate for peace between the tribes, as shown when she was accepting doctors from other kingdoms to come over. According to the dragonettes in the royal hatchery, Queen Ruby is a very nice dragon as well. She visits her subjects, brings them snacks, and even humbles herself enough to apologize when she bumps into another dragon. I think it's safe to say that Ruby is fit for the throne and deserves it. While no dragon is perfect, Ruby really does deserve to be appreciated for how much she changed her tribe. Not only did she raise their spirits, but she fixed their kingdom after such a terrible reign. Number 2 on this list is Thorn, a dragon I think absolutely deserves the title of one of the fiercest, smartest, and strongest queens we've gotten to see in Wings of Fire. Starting off as the leader of the Outclaws, I think it's safe to say that Thorn had some experience in leading other dragons. She has some of the defining traits that make a great ruler. Thorn is alert, dangerous, and serious when she needs to be, but she can also be super empathetic, calmly certain about things, and overall just really level-headed. Even though she does suffer from outbursts of rage in difficult situations, such as when she lashed out at and killed Prey Hunter, she did seem to regret it, something I know she's probably been working hard on ever since she got the throne. Despite this, Thorn knows how to treat her allies and subjects. Normally. She doesn't go out of her way to make a show of things or put on a fake smile to get what she wants. Thorn acts like her true, natural self, not showing any sign of fakeness when speaking to others. But even with this, she's certainly not a dragon you want to mess with. Even the most influential dragons are scared of her, making Thorn an enemy you do not want to have. When she needs to, Thorn can command her subjects and restore order, but her true self remains there throughout it all, and it shows just how great of a dragon and leader she really is. And finally, at number 1, we have one queen who really stood out to me as not only a fantastic mother, but also a respectable and fair ruler. This dragon is Queen Glacier of the Ice Wings. Despite Glacier's obvious exhaustion at having to deal with the troubles of the kingdom, she still remained strong until the very end. She took great care of her tribe and knew to choose what's right over what's easy. Glacier was also very intelligent, aware, and perceptive of everything around her, putting together things that other dragons missed and acting upon them. She was also something that a true queen needs to be, involved. Glacier loved her subjects and went out of her way to spend days on patrols to accompany them or take off on diplomatic missions for peace. She could have just stayed cooped up in her palace and forced other dragons to do that kind of work for her, but she knew it was ultimately what was best, and seemed to enjoy how it positively affected her tribe. Glacier was one of the wisest queens we've seen so far in the series. Now she chose Snowfall as her successor to avoid war was a very special and heartfelt moment. Again, no dragon can be perfect, but I think Glacier is a great example of how a queen should be. Show that love you have for your tribe by being involved and present. But to end the video off, I do have 2 honorable mentions I'd like to quickly list off, the first of which being Queen Moorhen. Though she did not have a lot of page time, Moorhen still remained very memorable due to her genuineness and ultimately how realistic, caring, and scared she really was. I think she's a fantastic queen with a love for her family and subjects, hoping to avoid conflict to spare everyone of the heartbreak. And lastly, I think Snowfall deserves credit. The transformation throughout the course of her book really stood out to me so much. Though she fumbled at first with the pressure and expectations, Snowfall rose to the occasion and delivered by making the hard choice of destroying the circle system for good. Anyways, that's it for this video. What did you guys think? Do you agree with my list, or do you think there are other queens who deserve to be mentioned? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!